In high school, I probably wasn't even the top 5 in my business class. Every time we wrote exams and I got my results back, I would be in the low 70s. And I had classmates that were in the 80s, in the 90s for their scores. I always scored a lot less than I knew I could. I always felt like I was not living up to my potential. And this made me insecure because I was reading all these business books. I was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Psychology of Money, Think and Grow Rich, Millionaire Fastlane. I was reading all of these business books. I was obsessed with business and entrepreneurship, but for some reason, my score was never quite there on my exams. And I realized that when you're writing a test and you're studying for a test and you get a score back that is negative, that feels like a punishment, one type of person will end up studying less because they received a punishment for studying. And the other type of person will study more so that they can get a reward. We are animals, you and I. We're monkeys, basically. I have a Christian belief that we're made in the image of God, but essentially we are mammals, okay? And what that means is that we operate off of something called operant conditioning. This is known as, like you might have heard of Pavlov's dog, where you can train dogs, you can train pigeons, you can train rats and mice using operant conditioning. We work in reward and punishment. And for some reason, entrepreneurs have this ability to sustain punishment for years and years and years and years. I have probably made in my lifetime over 1,000 pieces of content. I don't even have that many followers. I once was, and you might not even know this, but it's called Project Level Up. I once was an affiliate for The Real World, Andrew Tate's course. And I grew that account to about 5,000 followers. And for the span of 8 months, I posted 1 to 3 times every single day. And what's interesting is I don't think I made any money off of that. 8 months during college, working every single day on this. You might be saying, Ben, that is such a waste of time. But I can tell you now that skill set that I built over those 8 months directly translates to the work that I do every single day, where I now make ads. And those ads make me, $300 to $500 every single day. Easily. So for 8 months, I made nothing. And now that skill set can make me $300 to $500, maybe even $1,000 in a day. You need to fail more. You need to get over your fear of failure. You need to get past yourself. What's going on is you are looking at other people who are further ahead of you and you're thinking to yourself, wow, if only I drove that car, or I dressed that way, or I had the watch, and you buy yourself a fake watch. I've seen so many young men rocking the fake watch and the fake clothing and, getting a car on credit. And it's a deep insecurity that you want to feel like you've arrived. You want to feel like you're already on the other side of all that failure, all that heartbreak, all that blood, sweat, and tears, right? And for those of you that don't know my story, I studied for a year, I dropped out of college, I sunk, about $8,000, all my savings, into starting an e-commerce business. We made some sales, but it ultimately failed. From there, I tried everything: drop shipping, service-based businesses, coaching, content creation, AI automation, running ads for businesses. And I started to eventually make money online when I learned how to run ads for other people's businesses. But if I think about all the money, all the time, all the failed businesses, I've probably spent over $10,000 on just failing. I've probably spent a couple thousand hours on failing. And I've probably spent, 3-4 years of my life failing. And you need to get over yourself. In the Bible, it says, he who humbles himself shall be exalted, and he who exalts himself shall be humbled. And what that means is that when you realize that the greatest people on the planet all started in a low position and built their way up, if you humble yourself and you realize that there is a distance for you to cover to become great, you will follow that path and you will become great. But if you try to peacock and shortcut your way and you try to present yourself falsely as you have already arrived, what's going to happen is you're building on a foundation of sand, and people are going to slowly but surely see through that sand, and you're going to become self-conscious because you're going to realize how people are treating you, and that sand is going to come crumbling down and you're going to fall back to the bottom and you're not going to know how to get back up. You need to become a professional. And it takes time, it takes hours. If you're going the route of studying, you need to get the degree. If you're going the route of building a business, you need to spend 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on failing, on trying and trying and trying until you get good and you get consistent. Everyone seems to ignore, where all these great entrepreneurs started. All of them had painful periods of getting started. And that period can take years. You have to make peace with it. That period can take, 5 years, 10 years. But here's what's great. What's great is that period of learning, it took me about 3.5 years. Once you get past that, if you now throw me into any business model, I understand copywriting, I understand ads and traffic, I understand landing pages and collecting customer details, I understand sales, I understand back-end systems and automation, and customer ascension. I understand all these things now because I've gone through that brutal period of pain and sacrifice and burning cash and wasting time and feeling like I wasn't a provider. My girlfriend was with me throughout all those years, and there was periods where she was earning more money than me because I decided to work less at the restaurant that I worked at so I could spend more time on the businesses that were burning money and failing. It was brutal. I'm so glad I'm on the other side now. Even today, right, I'm gonna go hit the gym now. Then I've got a meeting with an affiliate who's gonna send us leads for a commission. Then I've got a meeting at 1:30 with a new client in South Africa and the UK. And then I've got a meeting at 5 o'clock with a American client. And then I've got jiu-jitsu at 4:30, around 4:30. So I wanted to share that with you. That was my message of the day, is that you're gonna fail, and avoiding failure is gonna keep you weak and miserable. It's the same in the gym. Avoiding the heavy weights, avoiding that, that 8th rep, that 9th rep, that 10th rep, avoiding that burn of pushing through. And this is something that martial arts taught me, especially Muay Thai. And doing Muay Thai for years now. I've been doing Muay Thai 5-6 years of my life, and realizing that you are made of so much more than you think. Like, you probably think, oh, I'm this chilled guy, and maybe you sit, a bit slouched, and you maybe there's parts of you that you don't respect in yourself and that you look down on. And there is so much inside of you that will be revealed when you push through agony, when you push through failure, when you push through, that 10th squat, or that 6th round of sparring, or that 15th minute of skipping, or that 30th minute of running. Last year I did a marathon. I've got my medals here in front of me. Last year I did my first marathon. That was like 5 hours of just brutal running. I ended up being so sunburned. My knees were like freaking destroyed. My girlfriend and I, we hit some beers and just jumped into the ocean with our medals. It was so much fun. But what I'm getting at is, keep that biblical principle in mind, that he who humbles himself will be exalted, and he who exalts himself shall be humbled. So stop the posing. Get real. Like, tell people where you are at. Don't reveal all your cards, You know, you kind of want to have a little bit of self-confidence and posturing, but be curious, like be a learner. Try and get in rooms with people who are ahead of you and ask as many questions as you can, instead of going into those rooms and trying to impress them. I'm gonna go hit the gym. Thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing you a beautiful day ahead, and best of luck for your 2026. Like, whatever you took from this video, go and apply it. I believe in you.